Real Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 17 17 700. Talking Scottish football first.
Good evening, Paul Cooney here with Barry Ferguson and Peter Grant, and what a night to have the two Old Firm legends, because is VAR in crisis after a weekend when Celtic lose 2-1 to Hibs, first time at home in 16 years. Controversy though around VAR. Livingston draw 2-2 with Rangers. Controversy, a penalty not given right at the end. And Hearts sail on, 1-0 win against Falkirk on Saturday. Top of the table, Hearts on 60 points. They only have 10 games remaining. Rangers on 56, 10 games to go. Celtic on 54, 11 games to go. Is it just bad blood? Is it the West of Scotland not liking it? Is the title now maybe going to Tynecastle? And maybe it is. Who wants to go first? Everybody. Rangers and Celtic united for the first time in all those years because they're not happy with the referees. Barry, what would you say then? So the last one there, I wasn't sure which way I was going to go.
Yeah.
And it's not just the Rangers decision, is it? It's the Celtic, the Austin Trusty, the Liam Scales. What did you feel about yesterday?
First and foremost, obviously I was at the game.
Yep.
You're obviously referring to the Mikey Moore incident. What blows my mind is that the referee doesn't give a foul. I honestly don't get it. It absolutely baffles me. It's a clear foul. Whether it's outside or inside the box is debatable. But for me, I just don't understand why the referee hasn't given a foul from Cammy Kerr fouling Mikey Moore in the edge of the box. For me, I think it's just on the line. I do. I think
just outside, maybe.
Yeah, well, again, that's debatable.
Sure.
But for me, the worrying thing for me is the referee doesn't think it's a foul. Now, the referee's in a good position in my mind. He's up with play, but how he doesn't think it's a foul on Mikey Moore, I just don't get it, Paul, if I'm being brutally honest.
Peter, which one do you want first? What about the Liam Scales? On the board, they said it was outside the box.
Well, that's what I said earlier, Paul. That was my biggest concern. It's a pull. There is absolutely no doubt on it. It is a pull. But then when you look up at VAR, they don't even go over and check. You look up at VAR and it says outside the box. I mean, what box?
It was just outside the six.
Outside the
6 yard. You made a great point.
Outside the 6 yard box, not the 18
it's
yard
7
box.
or 8 yards.
But who could say that in VAR? Sure. But not even that for the incident. It was a Hibs player that headed the ball straight by. So it told you that the referee was thinking about something else. It was a ridiculous decision. But I hate saying that when Celtic have lost a game. But it's fact. You know. By the way, I thought the one with Nigren earlier was more of a penalty
the hand,
as well.
the arm.
Well, because he's tried to flick. It's a skill. You know, he flicked the ball around the player. But people say, and I've always said, if the hand's against you, no problem. But if you look at the player, and I thought at the time he's moved his hand out, and he moved his arm out, and it hits him in the arm and it rolls down his arm, that's a penalty kick. And listen, I hate saying it, because I thought Hibs were always in the game. When the order north came, I thought there was only going to be one winner.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I thought there was only going to be one winner. I was hoping that Celtic would get through it and get the point, because I just thought Hibs...
Who did you think was going to win just before the ordering off? You thought it was going to be Celtic?
No, I thought it was Celtic were top then.
Okay.
And then when the order north came, I just thought Hibs come on. I thought David Gray made very good substitutions, and I thought he put attackers on. It caused Celtic a problem, and it left Celtic with not the right players, I felt, to hurt Hibs in that period.
See, if you're a Hearts fan watching, you're just saying, guys, they're not very good. Celtic are not very good. Rangers not much better, if better at all.
Hearts had a great weekend. They reacted in the right manner from a disappointing loss against Rangers last Sunday. Good 1-0 victory. By all accounts, they didn't play that well, but they found a way to win, Paul. That's the most important thing. Celtic obviously suffered the defeat. Grant was at the game. I was at the Rangers game. Did Rangers play well? No, they didn't. They kind of, once they got that goal back from Fernandes in 81 minutes, then they had a bit about them. They got the equaliser, and then obviously the incident we spoke about, where it wasn't a foul in Mikey Moore, and again, it blows my mind.
We haven't even mentioned Motherwell yet.
But I don't want to use that as an excuse.
No, I know. Yeah,
Rangers have to be better before that. I totally get that, and it's 2 points dropped.
What about Motherwell? 5-0 against St Mirren, although one of the worst decisions ever was Richard King, the red card. I mean, come on, what happened? Callum Slattery. I wonder how he felt when he woke up this morning. We've got a referee on the line. He's also a Celtic fan. It's Ross. Hi, Ross. Good evening.
Hi, Paul. How are you? All right?
Wow. Yeah, we're fine.
Evening, Ross.
Wow.
Where do you want to start?
Hope you're hiding, Ross. You're one of them.
Yeah.
Not be interesting to hear what Ross says.
Indeed. Ross, where will we? See the Richard King one? Have you seen it? I mean, to be fair, Richard Foster's just been on saying, what did you make of this? So what did you feel?
Yeah, I watched the game on Saturday night,
Okay.
and I just think across the board, I think the referee team across that game was just not great, to be honest. I don't like slander on any other referees,
Sure.
but I felt as if that incident alone was just, it's never a red card, and how VAR have looked at it and stood by it. I don't know what the communication's been there, but for me it's never a red card. But I watched the game yesterday, the Celtic game, and
Yep.
I just want to say, I don't know if Peter will agree here, across the board yesterday, Celtic were miles off it, and we did not deserve to win that game yesterday. Now I get the talking point is going to be the Trusty red card,
Yeah.
the penalties that we should have had, the Scales one. Listen, I've seen them given, to be honest, and when the ball comes in, there's an arm on him, a shirt pull on him.
Yeah.
So I think there's an argument there that, yes, there could have been a penalty, but I just felt across the board yesterday, I don't think Celtic played well enough to win the match, and I just feel as if we're going through the motions at the minute, and we're just struggling to win games, and it's just getting to a stage now where, I'm not saying it's an excuse, but we're looking at other things, saying that that's the reason why we've lost a game. We lost the game yesterday because simply we did not test Hibs well enough, and that's why we lost the game.
Yeah, loads of possession, but not enough. See, on the decisions of the referee, Martin O'Neill was asked afterwards, what about Trusty? What about the red card?
I thought the red card myself. I just spoke to the referee, and the referee said initially that he was just going to talk to the two players. That's what he thought. Then VAR have asked him to intervene and claim it's violent conduct. Well, I obviously I don't know about VAR anymore anyway. But if VAR had intervened there, when you were hoping that they would maybe 2 minutes later, when Scales is held in the penalty area, as jersey's been pulled, that looks a pretty well cast iron penalty.
Martin O'Neill doesn't know where he is with VAR. He's not the only one, is he?
We said it before it came up, Paul, and this is the first time the real pressure's been on.
Yeah.
There's a 3-horse race going on, and I said last week, I hope it's not VAR that wins the league. That's what you don't want. And week in, it's proven difficult. You see at Aberdeen, I thought the Aberdeen player didn't deserve to be sent off. I didn't think, obviously, you watch the Rangers game, and obviously I'm hoping Rangers don't get the decision, but how the referee can't give that, because even if he gives a free kick, he gets it wrong.
Sure.
He can look at it, the boy gets a red card, he's got a decision to make if it's a penalty or a free kick. But the boy gets an automatic red card. So that's a decision. But how he's gave him nothing. It's quite incredible. And the Scales one, you pull somebody in the box, it's a penalty kick. I don't know if Ross was seen the Negrin one, but also the fact is, I look at the Negrin one on that, and you think to yourself, fine, I think he's moved his hand out, and if he moves his hand away from his body, and he did do that, it's a penalty kick. But I look at the other situation, you think to yourself, Trusty, for me, they're talking about force, and I'm saying to Barry earlier on, people say if you lift your hands, it's a red card. Whether you slap somebody in the face or whatever, doesn't matter. They say if you lift your hands and use with force, it's an automatic. And that's the only way I can see why he's given the red card for that. But the player going down the way he did,
Barry?
it's quite incredible.
I don't think it's a red card. Seriously.
I heard Alan McCoist this morning. He said the same thing.
I don't think it's a red card.
And that's Ali, and there's Barry Ferguson. I mean, it
Exactly.
tells you something. Ross, what about that one, the Trusty? I mean, I think he didn't have to do that. He didn't really.
He
No, he
didn't.
didn't.
But listen, the player McGrath is holding him.
Yeah.
He's annoyed about it. He hits him in the arm.
Yep.
For me, no, I don't know what you think, Ross, but for me, I don't think that is a red card. I really don't.
No, for me, Barry, I think you're right. I think I'm just trying to think rationally why they would have deemed that a red, and the only thing I can think of is that they've maybe looked at it on the basis that he's kind of using force. But for me, I think what probably would have been the right outcome there is if Matthew McDermott went into the box and blew the whistle and pulled the two of them in and had a chat with them. I don't think anybody for Hibs or David Gray is looking for a red there.
Yep.
So
I totally
don't
agree with
think-
you. I think it's a bit of common sense. The referee grips him over. Listen, stop all this nonsense. Get on with it.
I mean, what about Motherwell? 50 points. I mean, it is amazing. They could still win the league. They win every single game. It's not impossible. Everyone says
Don't
the best.
write them off.
Yeah,
Don't write them off.
5-0
Paul.
against St Mirren. And
Yeah.
they were well up, by the time that crazy ordering off. Ross, are you worried in any way about the well? Isn't part of you saying, do you know what? And I know you're a Celtic fan, right? And we're Radio Glasgow, and we could be Sour Grapes FM, and we're not. You start to think, right, Hearts are giving it a good go. Motherwell, come on, get in there. Because, I mean, Celtic, a season of blunders after blunder. Rangers, blunder, getting a bit better, made changes in the back room, and Celtic got Martin Neal to thank for it still being in there. But you just wonder, can Motherwell come through? Because the big two are not justifying the money they've spent.
No, definitely not. And I think, from a Celtic fan's point of view, I think if Celtic fans aren't worried, then I generally would be now, because I watched the game yesterday, and I just felt as if we're just running out of ideas. Yeah. And then I know we've got a couple of last minute goals the last couple of weeks, but the big tester for me is going to be obviously on Sunday. If I'm being honest myself, Paul, and I have been honest, and you know me, I'm honest as I can be, I generally don't see any way where Celtic can come through the rest of the season without another defeat. And I generally could probably see Rangers, as I said before, going on to win the league. I think Hearts have done well, but I think when it comes to the nitty gritty, I think the Rangers are starting to head in the right direction. And as I say, they were 2-0 down yesterday, and they managed to come back and draw 2 each. Possibly could have won the game, but I just think right now, when you look at Celtic, we're just going through the emotions right now, and I just don't see any way that Celtic can win this league, because I don't see Rangers and Hearts dropping as many points as we will.
Peter, what would you say?
Oh, I agree. Celtic are nowhere near their best. The players are not playing at their best. There is no doubt of that. And you can sense that by the way they play. Everyone's a bit tentative. And I always say, Barry will probably say the same thing, you were always told then, make it simple. So it's like making it difficult for the opposition. When you've got a chance to cross, and that was the biggest thing for me yesterday. They'd got a chance to put the ball in the box. They didn't do it. Kieran Tierney puts one in, they get a goal from it. It's common sense. Make it as simple as you possibly can. And the biggest thing for me is there's too many teams coming, especially the back fours of the opposition, or back threes, whatever they play, have time on the ball to look forward and make passes. It was never allowed at Ibrox or Celtic Park that you were in people's faces making them kick the ball away or kicking it back to you, and they just don't do that consistently enough. Yeah, people talk about statistics and passing and whatever. The only statistic that counts is the goals, Paul, what you score and what you concede, and that's never going to change in football. So you've got to put the ball in the box, and listen, it's a good job Nygren's there. People criticise
19
him.
goals.
Yeah, but he's incredible. And the one thing I kept saying to you, and I said to you before, the one thing he gets criticism, but he keeps going back. He keeps going back. He should have scored probably earlier. He had a big chance. Big Tama should have scored. He had 2 big opportunities. But you've got to take them. But they didn't.
Nygren was only 1.7 million compared to what's happened to Balikwisha. Barry, I haven't asked you yet, I think you reckon the title is still going to be in Glasgow, and it might be Celtic, it might be Rangers, but you think it's going to go all the way? Or
I've said it, I've maintained it. I said it 4 weeks ago to you, Paul. I think this is going to go right down to the wire. I think it's going to be a last game scenario. I really do. And I still think there's going to be twists and turns.
What would you say to Ross, a Celtic fan who's thinking, I don't think they've got the chops for it?
Well, listen, there's still a fair bit of football to play. And listen, a big test for Celtic is on Sunday. We know what's happening
on
Sunday. Yeah, there's
but Barry's right. But you think of the next 3 games, Paul?
Yeah.
Celtic away to Rangers, away to Aberdeen, home to Motherwell. That's the next 3 games, and Motherwell
are going to play a part in this.
Motherwell have been the best team by far, not by a short distance. By far, they're the best in the eye, but they play it with a purpose. They don't just keep the ball. If they get an opportunity to put it forward, they put a cross in the box or runs forward. They do all that. Hearts are more, what do you call it, stodgy.
They're robust, Hearts.
Aggressive.
That's what they are.
And they do it very well. They're very good at that. But if you're talking about the all-round package, Motherwell are the best team by a country mile.
Ross, was there any?
I was going to ask Ross, obviously, listen, I like the way Ross goes about it and the way he talks. I want to ask him, obviously, about the Mikey Moore incident yesterday. Ross?
Yeah, no, for me, Barry, so again, I only caught the highlights of the incident, but I watched it back, and for me, obviously, I think at first glance, you think to yourself, "Oh, right, that could be a penalty." But when you watch it back when the contact comes in, I think it's just outside the box. But for me, it's a clear red card and a free kick. I think how the referees not gave anything from that.
Yeah, I'm the same, Ross.
I'm astounded that there's no even a, because for me, you can normally get a sense of things on a pitch. So if you're a referee and you're on the pitch, you get a feel of the game, and then you can hear the crowd. But normally when a player's driving into the box and there's a sliding tackle coming in, you're cautious that there's possibly a foul coming here. And for me, in that position, where he is, it's a foul, and how you can not give anything is beyond me. But for me, I don't think it's a penalty. I think it's a foul and a red card. And I think Rangers are a bit unjust, because I think at that point was maybe another 6 or 7 minutes added on, I think, towards the end. So if Livingston go down to 9 men, Rangers have essentially got 6 minutes to go and get a winner. But then what's to say that James Tavernier doesn't step up and put a free kick in the top corner?
But Ross, see on that situation, and you've seen it happening, is it not, I don't mean get out of jail, but you give a free kick. And if you've got it wrong, you give a free kick. And if you've got it wrong,
you buy time.
Then it goes to Livingston, they have the ball back, or it goes to Rangers and the player's ordered off. And it buys you time, and the decisions, the right decisions the referee's done, because it's a difficult one. Barry says he's in a great position, but he is behind him. And we're all saying, well, if he gets a touch on the ball, maybe he's not seen it for that side. Well, okay, buy yourself that.
Ross, did you see the position of the referee? I thought he was actually in a good position.
He was, Barry. No, he was right there. He was right at it. But the only thing I think, and again, I'm trying to think from a referee's point of view, the only thing I can think of is that he maybe thinks that the boy coming in has won the ball first. Again, I would need to hear the comment. I would need to hear the communication between the referee and the VAR team. But for me, that's the only justification I can think of. That he thinks that the boy's won the tackle, he's won the ball. But for me, even if I'm on that part, and if that's me, I'm getting a foul at least a free kick anyway. Because for me, Mikey Moore is driving into the box, and there's only one thing coming. If that tackle doesn't come, I think Mikey Moore's putting that shot away. Whether they score or not is a different story, but I think he's possibly stopped them getting a shot away.
That's another thing I was going to ask you. He's ready to pull the trigger at that stage. I don't think the Livingston boy's getting in time. I think he's getting a clear shot away.
No, I agree with you. I don't think he's blocking that. I think Mikey Moore's getting the shot away.
Ross, Ali McCoist this morning in TalkSport demanded that VAR is binned. He blasted officiating in Scotland as inept. Now, you hate to hear, in England they're saying it's inept when we've got a great title race. But even Ali is saying... So what would you say, Ross, to the legend Ali McCoist? Should we bin VAR?
I think see, if I'm being honest, VAR is a good thing. I just think it's maybe a training issue where it's the way it's been used. I think if we use VAR correctly, I don't think it's a bad thing. But I think the most frustrating thing here is that 1 week you're getting a foul or a free kick, and then VAR are looking at it and going, "Yep, is a red card." And then the next week, the next tackle comes, the same thing happens, and nothing happens. It's play on. There's no foul, no red card.
Inconsistency.
So I think it's the inconsistency from week to week. You just don't know what's a foul now and what's a red card now, because VAR 1 week are giving it, and then the next week they're not giving it.
That's it. Nobody knows. Peter, what would you do? Sorry,
get rid of it. It shouldn't have been here, Paul. It shouldn't have been here. I'd have goal line technology. That's what I'd have.
You've always said that.
And I would let the referee make a wrong decision. If he makes a wrong decision yesterday, nobody complains because you're only getting one look at it. We're not looking at it a million times and say, "Oh, that's a penalty, that's this, that." But you've got one look and you make the big decision. But I said it shouldn't have been up here. We've not even got the Rolls Royce model.
Sure.
They complain so much about it in England, and they've got the Rolls Royce model. So that tells you enough.
Money, isn't it?
That tells you enough. And people keep saying full-time referees. They're all full-time in England. And they're hopeless as well with some of the decisions. They're getting so much criticism down in England as well. So let's not make excuses for them anymore.
Barry, what would you do about VAR?
I was all for it. I was, but the decisions that I'm seeing, especially over the weekend, Paul, it's worrying me. Seriously worrying me.
Here's Danny Rule about the penalty claim at the end.
For me, it's a clear a foul. I think it's on the line, and then it's two decisions. If it's outside, it's a red card, and a free kick, or it's inside, then it's a pen and a yellow card. You see it. I think there's no ball. there is completely the contact at first to the men. I think these are crucial moments at the moment in this race as well.
All right, this one will run and run. Thank you, Ross. Back after
Cheers,
this.
Ross.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Well, what a weekend calls for VAR to be scrapped, but it won't be scrapped, will it? Because it's there in world football, and what would happen to us? Everyone would have to agree.
I'm just about to say, see, the thing is, we should be speaking about how good a result it was for Motherwell going to St Mirren. Brilliant result for Hibs. They've not won in 15, 16 years against Celtic at Celtic Park. And Livingston, to be fair to Livingston yesterday, I thought they were very well organised and very well set up.
Marvin made a difference, do you think?
Yeah, he has. There's no doubt about it. So we should be talking about the football things, but again, it's back to these mind-blowing decisions that referees and VAR are making.
Glad you kept that clean there. I wondered what was going to
I was
come.
going to say something.
But Barry's right, Paul, because
it's doing my
Celtic
head
and
in.
Rangers don't get a result. You always think you're complaining about VAR. And it probably sometimes ends up being like that, but that's not the
wee bit
reason.
of that, isn't it?
Aye, but you don't like talking about that, because I hate making an excuse for Celtic losing. Because at the bottom of the line is, if you don't do enough, and I genuinely thought when it went to 1-1, I thought there was only going to be 1-1 on Hibs because of the substitutions that David Gray made. He made attacking substitutions. They were more direct. They'd runners from midfield, and they were going to make it difficult for Celtic. And it was always going to be a problem. So you've got to give Hibs. Hibs stayed in the game. Celtic had 17 or 18 corners compared to Hibs' 2 or 3. You know, so either tells you the quality of the corners are not good enough. You're not attacking the ball in the box well enough. You can have 17 corners all you want.
Of course.
So that's what I talk about statistics
You saw
and passing.
Celtic had 65-70% possession.
It means
but
nothing.
What's the score?
Yeah, Kasper Schmeichel had a great save at 1-0. You know, from Martin Boyle. You know, and it was a fantastic ball for Cadden for the goal.
Two.
You know,
He can sweep a ball in, can't he? Nicky Cadden. Yeah,
He's got
Fantastic,
really good delivery, Nicky Cadden.
Yeah. Excellent. And it was I enjoyed it because it was always on that talk. But you were never confident, Paul, going into the game.
But the same with Rangers. I think Rangers were 31 attempts on goal, 14 on target. That's a lot for an away game.
Mikey Moore's a player. 0808
He is a player.
17 700. What do you think, Rangers fans, Celtic fans? Give us a call.
He makes things happen, Paul.
Good to watch, isn't he?
He is. He's listen. He came up here as a boy and he's grown into a man. There's no doubt about it. He's had a new lease of life under Danny Rowe. I really like him centrally. I think he's so dangerous. But listen, the great thing about him is the young man can play near the flank, but when he plays just in behind and that kind of floating all behind a main striker, he's so dangerous.
You know, the thing that surprised me more all of that, Paul, remember I said to him months and months ago when he came up and Russell signed him, I can't believe he's playing him wide right.
That's right.
No.
I said he's in behind the striker and he's a threat. I said it doesn't matter, forget his age. He's a threat when he plays on there. I seen him a lot at Tottenham as a kid, you know, playing, and that's his only position.
Do you know what I love about him, Grant? He gets the ball and his first thing is he's direct.
Absolutely.
He goes towards the goal. He's not one of these, if he is playing in the wide area, but centrally he's always in the half turn. He's always looking to go and get at defenders. I really like him. And listen, we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. This is going to be the issue. I think Rangers has been good for Mikey Moore, and it's been good for Tottenham as well for his development. What's Tottenham going to do with him in the summer?
Exactly. Where will they be next season?
Yeah,
Will they
exactly.
still be in the Premier League?
But Tottenham would allow him to stay up here, Paul. Tottenham would allow him to stay here. And I think Rangers would buy him.
Right,
I think
okay.
Rangers would buy him because then they think they could sell him on.
Kevin, what do you think? A Rangers fan on the line. Hi, Kevin. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Kevin.
Good evening. I was just listening to obviously Barry's points, and I agree with him. I think it will go to the wire. But this is quite controversial. Okay. If it turns into a 2-horse race, for example, the Hearts with either Rangers or Celtic, and it comes to the split, when the team that's no longer in the championship race goes to play Hearts, do you think they'll lie down to them?
Right. Wow.
Do you want me to answer that one?
I both of you, yeah.
Never in a million years.
Why?
Because you've just got that pride, and I wouldn't care if I was a Celtic player. I'm only interested in Celtic winning. I'm not interested if it's Hearts or Rangers. If we're not winning it, I'm not interested in it. I just want to beat that team on the day. that was the way we were brought up. I'm not
Of
sure,
course.
and I can't see players going down in tools.
This is what maybe we, Kevin, as punters, don't quite realise.
No, they're
This is a
professionals.
profession. It's your job. You've got
100%.
families to feed. You've got careers to further. And honestly,
You're in it to win it. Even
Yeah.
if you're out it, you want to go and make sure you win a game of football.
I used to play them in friendly games, Kevin, right, when I was a young lad in the early days at Clyde, and you play against guys that had retired. I thought they were old men, but they were brilliant. And by the way, they competed, and they said, son, there's no such thing as a friendly. So, Barry, you would say no question on that? Don't worry you that somebody would lie down? No. Yeah.
People will always question that part, especially if it's Celtic
Yeah,
or
it's a
Rangers.
good point Kevin makes.
Because it's very good, because Celtic or Rangers fans, we're all the same. We say, they lay down at them. If Rangers get beat or Celtic get beat with them, they say, they lay down at them. That's fact. That's Celtic and Rangers for you. Yeah. But I can tell you from a professional point of view, and I'm sure Barry will say the same thing, absolutely not. Because you want to win every game. You don't want to be embarrassed, and you're getting enough criticism for being out the race anyway. You know, for your own supporters, you don't want to make it even worse.
Kevin, are you quite enjoying it in a way? All the twists and the turns?
Yeah, I am, and I'm just looking at Motherwell. They're coming at a steam train.
Yeah.
I actually think they could finish in the top three the way they're going. And Hearts and Celtic have got to play them in the next few weeks, so that should be interesting. And I also think that a hard match that Hearts are going to get is away to Kilmarnock. I think potentially that could be a banana skin for them.
You reckon? Yeah, I see they got a draw at the weekend, the Killie. So Neil and Billy beginning to do well there for Killie. What do you make of the VAR stuff yesterday? Have you got a view on it? Here's Danny Rule saying he was amazed that the referee didn't go to the screen.
Yeah, of course. I think at first, the first thing is when they checked over 2 or 3 minutes, there must be something. And then I was surprised that not the ref watched it back. Maybe as an explanation, I don't have this. But finally again, we had 100 minutes to decide this game earlier.
What did you reckon, Kevin?
Yeah, I just don't know why he didn't give anything. And the referee, I mean, it was clear. Moore was about to pull the trigger, and it just to oversee that and nothing happened. That if Rangers say they didn't win the league, and it was maybe by a point, a couple of points, they'll go back to that. That will be brought up time and time again, and that will never be forgotten.
That's a good point, isn't it?
I think there could be a few more of them, Paul,
Sure.
before the end of the season. That's the problem. And I said that, and I said it last week, about VAR could win the league. You know, and that's what we don't want. That's what we don't want.
Can
We
you
want one
imagine
of the
it?
teams to win the league, whoever it is.
Can you imagine it? Next Sunday and the following Sunday, winning the
Do you
league.
know what?
I mean,
That's what came into my head when Kevin was talking there. These next couple of games. 2
points between the big two, the former big two.
I just wouldn't like to think, and I hope it's not a case that it's a decision.
Who's the referee? Do we know yet? Who's on
Wednesday?
VAR? You know?
Wednesday they'll find
All right,
out.
okay. What time?
Maybe need to fly somebody in.
1 o'clock Wednesday.
1 o'clock.
I'll
Who's
let you
it
know.
going to be, Barry? Go on.
Good Dallas.
Oh, it's some season though, isn't it? And you're right to mention Motherwell, because Bertolascu, my goodness, Motherwell have had a season like what they haven't seen ever, really, certainly in our lifetime for the Well. Could they go? They could go all the way. I know you think they'll have a big influence.
Kevin makes a good point. They could finish in the top three. Although they're the form team, they're just very well organised. They're fully confident. I love the way the manager speaks as well. He's obviously gave these players so much belief. They've got a game in hand.
That's
If
right.
they win their game in hand, they go on to 53 points.
Yeah.
They're going to have a massive say in this.
And Mark Woody this time last week said 82 points could win the league this year. They could get 83, Peter. I know it's a huge if, but, or maybe, but what are you thinking?
Oh, they're well in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely well in it. And I know, forget the pun there, but 100%, because the way they're playing, it's attacking. You know, it doesn't matter. They've lost players through suspensions or whatever. They've still come back. They've been able to perform. The players know what they're doing. The manager deserves unbelievable credit, but so does his players, because it's the hardest way to win games of football is the way they're going about it. And they constantly do it. And that takes a lot of very good coaching, but also takes the knowledge of the players to bring it on. The only thing is it Slater that was involved in the incident at the
Callum
weekend.
Slattery, yep.
He could lose a few games, because if I'm looking at that as SFA for the way he went down against St Mirren, you know, I'd be banning him, because I think it was a disgrace to a fellow professional holding his face like that. And I could say the same about McGrath with his arm. You thought his arm had blew off.
Yeah,
Come on. You're playing. This is fellow professionals you're playing against. And I know it's all people say part of the game, not things like that. Not for me getting fellow professionals red carded.
And Maswanisi, another goal, Barry, as you know, it was a penalty. Just got the first, Maswanisi, the second side, Longolo, and Björn Forsen got one as well.
Well said.
I almost said that one, yeah. I tell you what, there's a buzz for Motherwell, isn't there? Yeah.
There is, Paul, and I've said it openly, they're the best team I've watched this season. I've seen them live twice, once at Ibrox and a couple of weeks back at against Rangers at Fir Park. I just like the way they go about their business. They've obviously got a certain way they play, but do you know what I like about them? They're not scared to go long either. They mix it up as well. And as I said, Paul, I think they're bang in this.
Fernandes took his goal well, didn't he? He spoke afterwards about the character the team needs.
100%. Look, there's 30 points to play for, and I feel like we've shown character to come back in many games this season, and we showed character to come back to this stage where we are in the season. And look, we've got to fight and fight and fight and keep hunting.
And he also spoke about the penalty claim.
Look, I haven't really seen it back myself personally, but look, the ref didn't give it as a penalty, and we can't really focus on that. We know that we should have been better today, and we just got to move on to the next.
There was also a racist slur afterwards as well, or from the game the other day. It's absolutely awful, isn't it? But something online, it's disgusting.
Was it Gassama and Fernandes, and then I've seen quite a number of players getting abused online down south.
Shocking.
Yeah, it's absolute. It's a disgrace, absolute disgrace in this day and age.
Kevin, I hear you there. Absolutely terrible, isn't it? I hope they root them out.
Yeah. They need to, the social media companies need to do more, in my opinion, as well. And these things, it's a lot of it's brushed under the carpet, but they need to be doing more, sort of weeding these guys out and they're prosecuting them. They don't need this in this day and age. It's still going on, and you even saw it like last week. I don't know about the Real Madrid game, how much truth is in that, but it's still going on, even on the park. It's just disappointing because the whole situation with Slavia Sparta Prague with the Rangers. I mean that was only a couple of years ago.
Shocking, I remember it. Yep.
Yeah. Glenn Kamara, wasn't it?
Yep, that's right.
It was 2019, wasn't it? Or, I think it was. Yeah.
So, Kevin, who is going to win the league, though? You're a Rangers fan. What do you feel deep down? Because unusually, you've got Rangers fans saying, "Well, this might be Hearts, it might be Celtic." Celtic fans saying, "I'm not sure it's going to be them anymore," but you can never rule them out. What do you feel?
What worries me is Rangers' away form. I mean, the game after the Hibs game after the European game, we put that down to European match. But yesterday they should be winning those games, and that's what worries me. The away form, and I think that if they're going to run out of matches, and I think it's going to be between Rangers and Hearts. But I think whoever loses next week, if there is a loser, I think Hearts will be happy with a draw next week. But I think whoever loses the Old Firm game is out it.
Do you think? Yeah. Peter, what would you say? I mean, obviously Rangers got the advantage, the home advantage.
Yeah,
but,
well, definitely Rangers getting its favourites in that game. There's no doubt that. You usually say, getting into a Celtic Rangers match, you can't pick a favourite because it doesn't matter who's playing. Like Celtic are not playing well enough, not played well enough this season, or consistently enough this season. They've had the odd performance here and there, so there's no getting away from that. Celtic need to fall into form, like it needs to drop out the sky, and they've not been doing that, Paul. They've had the lifts for the Kilmarnock game last week. Then again at midweek, and it was very poor against Stuttgart. It was average yesterday. That's what I would say. Probably an average performance, not the level that they'd want to be at. They had a few chances for sure, but it didn't surprise me to say once the Order North game that Hibs didn't want to win the game. I don't go there feeling that confidence, which you should say, well, we're going to win this game 2-0, which you used to get into games think, well, the players are going to be playing at their best. And I always judge on that, and I think Barry maybe be similar. If you look at a team and you say, right, how many players we could play above average, like 7s or 8s? It's very, very difficult to do that with the Celtic team at this moment in time.
How many do they have?
That's what I'm saying. You're probably around about 6s and below, really. And that's apart from Arojo, I think he's came to the fore a little bit and he shows a little bit, but that's your right back. Where you're needing your striker at this time would be a 9 near enough every week, because he's got to take every chance that comes along to win you a league. And that could be the difference. It's going to be, I think it's going to go right down to the wire, but I agree when you're saying about Motherwell. I think Motherwell, if Celtic or Rangers go out the race, I think they could go out the race, if you understand what I'm saying. Motherwell could come because they'd be demoralised, there's no chance they win it. Motherwell could keep going.
Pressure off.
You know.
Kevin, thank you so much for your
Cheers,
call.
Kevin.
Hopefully call again.
Cheers, Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. First time caller, and it won't be the last.
Thank you,
Cheers,
Kevin.
cheers, Kev.
Much appreciated. Making the switch, as so many people are at 5. Then they switch off again. No, they make the switch and hopefully they stay with
Then
us
they
till
realise
7.
who's on.
Well, do you know what? The honesty we get from you guys is, I don't think you get that. No, of course you got honesty elsewhere, but the insight we get, Barry Ferguson, Peter Grant, and some of the other pundits as well. Not all of them, but
No, I agree
I'm
with you.
kidding, you know. But there's on it. I love the fact that you're saying, you know, what you think about the opposition. It's not just, it's Celtic will win 5-0 and all that. You would never do that. Barry's Rangers to win 10-0. He wouldn't
does
do
all
that.
fair.
Oh, no, not at all. All right, somebody tonight could win £500. It's going to be a really tough one. 620, I promise you. I'm a little bit nervous about it because I tell them about what it is during the break so they can decide, you know, right, oh, wow, start to think of the answers. So 620, not to be missed tonight. Somebody could win 250 or £500 with our friends at Scottish Gas. So I know you love the competition. Rob will be back soon because that was 2 weeks ago when Rob was on it. But yeah, it's a great competition with Scottish Gas. 08 08 17 17 700. We're back in a moment.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Yeah, we're just looking at next weekend already and looking at midweek tomorrow night in the Premiership. Dundee United against Aberdeen used to be the New Firm derby, and then Celtic will fly out on Wednesday to Stuttgart for the match on Thursday evening. William is on saying, I take it Celtic will play some players that we haven't seen for some time. William's a Celtic fan. Peter, you would imagine, or does he? What do you think?
No, I'm not sure of that because I don't know what Celtic's first 11 is, Paul. You know, you couldn't turn up in a game that would surprise you. I looked at the back four yesterday, but Sarachi came in place of Kieran, maybe there because he's not played many games. But the young centre back Arthur play because obviously Trusty is obviously going to be missing.
He's out for the game. Yep.
So is he going to play in the game, or is it going to be young Murray to play at centre back? So there'd have to be a change there. Right back, Arujo looks really fit. But you've got Tony Ralston there, you've got young Colby Donovan. Would you give them a chance with the game at the weekend? But yet again, Paul, you don't want to go to Stuttgart, get turned over 4 or 5, then there's a lot of negative press, get into the Celtic Rangers match.
All right, I'm just being, does it matter really?
Yes.
They're out.
Yes, it does matter.
But they get turned over at home. So
yeah, but it does matter. Paul, there's no gimmies for Celtic. There never will be. And you've got to go there and people pay their money to follow you to Germany. You've got to go and try and put performance in them. Yes, people can say you're out, but you've still got to put a performance on. You owe it to the jersey. Never mind anything else.
I know it's only Monday, right? And the game's next Sunday. Do you think Martin O'Neill would consider going a back 3?
Possibly, Baz, because of the fact that he's lost a centre back and it need to be a young centre back that comes in. You know,
or does he play Scales and puts Kieran Tierney into centre half?
I know. I don't think he fancies Scales on. I think we've seen Scales at right side and it didn't work. That's why he trusted to move there. I'd be surprised if he went with that, but as a possibility because Sarachi could play left back, you know. But I think then if Kieran's only lasting the 16, 17 minutes, you're taking a centre back off and then putting a young one on in the game at a very important time it could be, you know. And I think Dane Murray...
No, you just don't play Kieran Tierney on Thursday and say...
Well, I think that will happen anyway. And I think Dane Murray has never let himself down. And the young boy yesterday, Arthur, when he came on, did okay. You know, one of his headers, distribution was fine, you know. But listen, and as a young player, if you're that good and you're at the teams and you want to step up and make a name for yourself, what a better place to go to somewhere like Ibrox and perform at your best and you become a superstar overnight.
Dave's been on in a moment or two. I'll tell you about that, about VAR. Here's news. Celtic have confirmed that they will be submitting an appeal to the SFA in relation to the red card imposed on Austin Trusty during yesterday's defeat to Hibs. The club believes the player was wrongfully dismissed. The decision was reached following VAR intervention. So Martin O'Neill was asked about it, and would there be an appeal? Actually, I don't know if I've got that here, but Peter, would you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's worth going for because, especially Paul, as I said to you, about the VAR coming up in the corner and saying it's outside the box.
Yeah, that was nonsense.
I just found that incredible, you know. And I think he's definitely that was incident with Scales.
Yes.
But the incident looking at that led on to that, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it led
yeah,
on.
sure.
And you're thinking to yourself, all these things. So too much going on, Paul. Too much involvement. You've got to make decisions. And I agree, I think the player made a meal of it. The only thing that they're getting out of jail with is the fact is maybe the force he used, and they said if you lift your hands, seemingly, that's been a rule that's been in for a few years now, that if you lift your hands to an opponent, you're sent off.
You never quite know what you're going to get with Austin Trusty recently, do you?
No.
And in general,
No, I don't.
Played so well in some of them and then some...
No, I'm the same. I'm the same. I think he should play forward quicker. Just give it out to your fullback. He turns back, plays back. And I know he's on his wrong side. I know that, but he takes too many touches. Then he puts... And I think it gives Kasper Schmeichel a problem then. Because when he plays it back to Kasper Schmeichel, he's getting closed down, and then he hooks the ball up in the air. The midfield's all over the place. And me and Barry's ex-midfield players, we'd be crying because if the ball goes long and you're coming deep to receive possession, the ball's 30, 40, 50 yards away from you, and you can never get up the pitch, and the midfield's getting, you can't get tight. Well, we can't get tight because we don't know what we're going to do. We don't know if we're going to play short. We don't know if we're going to go long.
Barry, what are you thinking?
About Trusty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that Celtic are appealing it. I said to you at the start of the show, I think it's at most a yellow card. But don't be surprised if the appeal fails. Don't be surprised.
Yeah. Derek's on, a Rangers fan, asking, is the loser at the weekend, the Rangers-Celtic game, out of the title race? What do we think? Barry, what would you say?
Well, I know what Hearts would want at the weekend, and that's a draw.
A draw.
Yep. Is the loser out? No, I still believe there's enough football to be played because there'll be 9 games left. Celtic will have 10.
I think if Celtic didn't have the game in hand and lost to Rangers, I think there's a big possibility that would be the end of Celtic's chase.
Yep.
You know,
do you think that's a bit of momentum then?
Because Celtic will get a game in hand, even if they, God forbid, lose to Rangers, you know, they've still got the game in hand.
But if they lose against Rangers and Aberdeen, then I would say
there is a difference, and that's very, very difficult. You know, that's
because Celtic. You're looking at the Stuttgart defeat last week, then yesterday's defeat. If they lose over in Stuttgart and then Rangers, suddenly the narrative is 4 in a row.
Rangers, then Aberdeen away, then Motherwell. Motherwell's your first home game, Paul, in that period. You know, so I definitely think it'd be very much an uphill struggle for Celtic.
The one team you don't want to come up against in is Motherwell.
The Well. Imagine they won the league. It'd be phenomenal, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? I mean, we always say about neutral. If they won it, it'd be brilliant.
Outside Celtic, that's who I'd hope would win it.
Come on, you're a Lanarkshire boy.
That's what I'm saying. That's how Motherwell would rather win it.
You should see the way he looked at me when I said to him, what about Celtic at Stuttgart? I mean, what the
There's
heck?
going to be a couple of twists and turns.
Yeah, I know. You really do. You think all the way. Who'd be the referee? Who's going to be in VAR this weekend for Rangers against
Did they put
Celtic?
us 2 on it?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, you talk sense. Because the thing is, you know
we'd be
the game
fair.
so well.
I think we'd be fair, Paul.
Yeah.
I genuinely
And
do.
listen, but they tried to be fair, there's no question.
I don't know in an old firm game.
Right, you'd be fair. That's right.
No, I said you'd be fair for Rangers.
On VAR, here he is, Barry Ferguson. Being
Well, I
advised
thought it
by-
has been about on VAR anyway. With some of the decisions.
Do you reckon? Do you think there's something? Go on. No.
I'm saying that.
We're going to take more calls in a moment or two. Let's go with what the manager said yesterday about the title race, because they both slipped up. Here's Martin O'Neill.
No, we're not out of it at all. I knew there's going to be twists and turns in this here. Disappointing to drop all 3 points today, but we're still in there fighting.
Danny Rule, what did he say at half time to his players?
Yeah, we spoke about some spaces, some positioning. Then it was clear to bring the next player around the box, in the box. We changed not so much, but some things we have to be more clear. And then you conceded again. A goal after a set play. It makes again harder to come back. But finally, we were always on front foot. We tried, and sometimes the feedback from the supporters, you feel how they see the game, and it was very positive. Even we are disappointed that we dropped 2 points today.
Barry, did you think it was going to be a defeat with 5 minutes to go? Did you think they're going to drop all 3?
Well, I looked at my phone and there was 10 minutes to go, and at that period I thought they have to get a goal, and I thought he went very brave. He had the 3 forwards, Miovski, Nadiri, Chermiti, and then he brought on Bajrami, Asgard, and then you still had Mikey Moore on the pitch, so you had real attacking force, and at that stage you have to go for it, Paul. You need to get something from the game. and they certainly did. But going into the final 10 minutes, they had to get that goal. They got it from Fernandes, and then obviously Mikey Moore. I thought it was a great header, getting in the box, great finish. And then I just felt at that time Rangers had the momentum, and I thought something was coming. And then obviously what we spoke about at the start of the show, he's through in goal and he's denied that, in my opinion, an obvious goal scoring opportunity. So the I try and take your positives out of it, Paul. Yep, you're going there, you're thinking, right, Rangers, the last 2 away games, they've dropped 4 points against Hibs and against Motherwell. I was confident Rangers would get the 3 points, but they just started a bit pedestrian. They were a bit slow in the ball. Look, they had, as I said, plenty of possession, plenty of attempts on goal, no doubt about it, but it just wasn't good enough in the end of the day. And as I said, their home form I have no issues with. They're very strong at home, Rangers.
But on the road.
But on the road, that will be a slight concern to the manager. The last 3 away games, they've dropped 6 points.
Peter, for Celtic, the form, it's not been great. The last really good performance was the Dundee United game when Martin O'Neill came back. So that's a month and a half ago or whatever. And they've been getting over the line, but not yesterday.
But it's weird, Paul. Celtic went in his forum team yesterday, getting into the game. They had the most victories and 1 draw.
That's right.
Other teams had 2 draws and 1 loss and whatever. So they were getting in as a forum team without playing well. It was which was quite incredible, actually. The Rangers fans, I'm hearing, listening to Danny Roll there, he's saying they were delighted at the final whistle because they've came for 2-0 down, they've got a point, and Celtic have lost.
I think it was just saying about the atmosphere.
But it's a perfect day for them.
The atmosphere, to be fair, see the atmosphere at Livingston was honestly.
But Livingston's brilliant for it.
Isn't
That
it?
is because they get loose Celtic and Rangers supporters to fill it. Why other clubs don't do it, we know why. But they should for Scottish football because
See
they're
the
seeing all the...
atmosphere it creates. You're spot on, Granty. The atmosphere it created. Livingston had the full main stand, and Rangers obviously had the 3 stands the way around, and it created a brilliant atmosphere.
And David Martindale he was there, obviously. I saw him on the telly as well. Saw you in the telly, Barry. You well looked after, but David would be counting the money at the end.
He's got some decent players there.
Yeah,
yeah.
They were impressive, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. As I said to you, they were well organised.
Cabin goal.
The set up, I thought it was a great finish.
Yep.
It's interesting to see they signed the big boy Nubly back again.
Yeah,
he
of
was
course.
on the bench.
Sure.
He was excellent for them the last time he was here. He was in China or something, wasn't
But
he?
they were very well set up to hit in the counter attack, and Rangers will be disappointed with the goals. I think they're avoidable. I think you've got to defend it a bit better. You don't need to give the free kicks away. The second goal was a good finish. Then you think at 2-0, you think, oh, come on here. But Livingston get the man sent off. Rangers started to motor a wee bit, where I believe it should have been a bit earlier. But listen, sometimes it happens in football. But the most important thing is at least they get something out of the game. If they come away without anything, Paul,
would have been.
Yeah, wouldn't have been good enough.
Okay, news is next. I was going to say all the Fergusons were in the stand because at St Mirren, of course, Sir Alex himself, who of course was the manager at St Mirren. It's amazing, wasn't it, that he gets sacked after they won a game as well, wasn't it? It's just, and look at that, the greatest
story.
manager, Sir Alex there.
Good
at
soup
the
at
Graham.
Livingston.
Isn't it? Good soup.
Good.
Right, more about the Barry's soup at Livy and maybe calls from you, and somebody could win £500. That's coming up after the news.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 17 17 700. Talking Scottish football first.
Barry Ferguson, Paul Cooney, we're talking Scottish football. Peter Grant has the headphones on, just getting ready intently. What were you checking the weather there? Were you beforehand?
I'm just making sure I'm ready for these questions for all these people that are phoning in, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're brilliant tonight.
They sure are.
You know, and listen, we talk about St Mirren, we're talking about Celtic, we're talking about Rangers. Aberdeen's player getting sent off as well was a joke. So there's four different games you're talking about, and it's all VAR. You know, and it's quite incredible. And we shouldn't be talking about it. We should. No, Barry's right. Hibs had a fantastic result. Livingston did a fantastic result, fighting for their life. Motherwell going to St Mirren, 1-5 is incredible. No matter what, for whatever reason, but they scored 5 goals away from home. Phenomenal.
And what about the Hertz on Saturday? A West of Scotland manager, of course, Derek McInnes, given that we're the voice of Glasgow and the West. Derek, I'll tell you what, Barry, what I know, you begin to think now, this may well be their year.
I don't think they're going away anywhere,
No.
Paul, and I've said it and I maintained it. You've got to give them respect.
Yes.
They're there for a reason. By all accounts, they weren't great in Saturday, but what's it all about? It's about how you react to a disappointing result they had against Rangers at Ibrox. They've come back and they've beat a good Falkirk team. Because
absolutely.
Falkirk don't discard them. They're a difficult team to play against. And the most important thing for Hearts was making sure they get the 3 points. And I tell you, they've been looking, the manager Derek and the coaching staff and the players would have been watching on Sunday, and they would have had a good Sunday, that's for sure.
Chesnikov getting the goal, who just came in the other week. Let's go on the lines, Peter. I'll come back to you in a second. Gary is on in the Gorbals. Hi, Gary. Good evening.
Evening, guys. How you doing?
Evening, Gary.
Yeah, good, Gary. What about you?
Yeah, it's a bit like Groundhog Day, Paul, to be honest.
You Celtic fan?
Just keep on and keep saying that it's poor performance after poor performance with Celtic. And listen, congratulations to David Gray and Hibs. Great second goal, I thought, from them, that probably gets overshadowed with all the decisions from the referees.
Wasn't it?
But
Kai Andrews,
it's mostly the referees.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly the referees I'm kind of wanting to discuss. I mean, probably I would say 4 or 5 really bad decisions this weekend from our top referees and VAR. And listen, referees, obviously we had the boy on at the start of the show kind of thing, talking about how difficult a job it can be. But when you're in a VAR room, surely it's not that difficult. When you look at the Callum Slattery dive, in my opinion, I think not only should the red card be rescinded, but I think Callum Slattery should probably take the ban instead, to be perfectly honest with you. And I just think it's a case of VAR re-reffing the game, because when you look at a couple of weeks ago, I watched Villa Newcastle in the FA Cup, and they didn't have VAR, and decision after decision after decision went against Newcastle. And then the North London derby yesterday, where the game was delayed for 14 minutes in total because the technology wasn't working. There's a kind of a panic amongst referees, I believe, that they're almost scared to go and make their own decisions. And some of the decisions yesterday, the referees should have trusted their own judgment.
Yeah. I think that's what the guys were saying here earlier as well. There's some crazy decisions now, aren't there? And they're going too often, just going to VAR. It's a default position now. They don't trust themselves anymore. Maybe they're losing their nerve, Peter.
Well, it's a get out of jail for me. And let's stop it right here, Paul. They decide to be referees. So let's stop saying, we can't be critical. Players get criticised, referees get criticised. It's the hardest job, I genuinely believe. They're not making it any easier, because so many of them are getting it different from their mate that's sitting in a box watching it. And I agree. That's why I go back to saying goal line technology. That's all I would have, because it's somebody's decision making, and it's always been that case. And we've always had wrong decisions, but now you're getting wrong decisions even when it's plain as the nose in your face. It's the wrong decision, and they're still not going to it. And Barry, we spoke about the Rangers game. Why he doesn't give a decision and just say, right, I'm blowing for a free kick here, and then say, got it wrong, it's a free kick, we'll give the ball to Livingston, or it's a free kick and an order off to Rangers. That's using common sense. Us playing the game, and I'm not a referee in any shape or form. It's hard enough even to do it when you're a manager doing it in training. The world's worse for that. But when somebody's going through and goal like that, why is he going to go down? Unless it's a wonderful tackle, but it gets you out. If he's going to get himself out of jail, he gives a free kick, and then he goes and VAR and listens to VAR then. And that's how you've got to use it. So I thought it's a waste of time, and always has been.
Gary, what would you do about the game on Thursday night? Then we asked Peter earlier on. William was on, a Celtic fan, said, what do you do? What would you do, the line-up for Thursday?
I think it's difficult because on the one hand, I think you need to kind of go with your strongest lineup possibly and try and gain a bit of momentum for ahead of Sunday, because it's a derby. Or do you rest all your players and play a fringe squad and take it? I think we're going to take a doing either way. I think we're going to get a beating either way, to be fair. So I think whether it's a full strength lineup or whether it's a fringe lineup, but you don't really want to be thrown into that kind of mix. So to be honest, I mean, I'd probably would rest most of the players, to be honest, and just take it on the chin and just move on, because I think we can't afford any more injuries going into these run of games against Rangers and Aberdeen.
Because you've got people like Gary Roxon who are just not playing. Scottish international player Sinisalo, chance to play him again. And, he played Kasper Schmeichel at the weekend. I'm sure will they play him? In
The big
Sunday?
thing is, do you risk your most important players?
You can't.
Because you've obviously got a big week ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the both Rangers games and then squashed in between that, it's Aberdeen away. So he's got a big decision to make on Thursday night, Martin O'Neill.
Well, you look at the bench and you're saying Hatate and all that.
Yeah.
If they're not able to play in a game, if he's not, even if he's going to start them in the weekend against Rangers, these guys should be showing the quality. I said last year, and that's the massive difference this year. Celtic had the best two teams in the division last year. A million miles short for having the best two teams this year.
Not now. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. But that's down to performance for everybody. So I'm talking about on performances, Paul. So you're talking. That's why I'm saying players about a 6 and below. Another maybe 1 or 2 above, like Nick Nygren, because you're going to see that with the amount of goals he scored. And skills
Connected
probably
at times.
About 2, not enough.
At times, sure, yeah.
Not enough. He's got to be much more.
It's the early kick-off on Thursday night, isn't it? So
Yes,
it's 5:45. Doesn't do them any harm. They'll fly back afterwards. And then they've got Friday, recovery, Saturday, and then Sunday, Ibrox.
There's enough time to recover.
Yeah.
No doubt. The way that they're looked after, Paul, and they're good professionals. I don't think Martin O'Neill would use that as an excuse. But is he going to risk because it's a huge week ahead for them? We just need to wait and see. I know what I would do. I wouldn't risk my most important players.
Celtic confirmed, we told you in the first hour, they are appealing the Austin Trusty red card yesterday. The club believes the player was wrongly dismissed and the decision was reached following a VAR intervention. I take it you agree with that, Gary?
Yeah, absolutely, and I agreed with the first appeal against the Hearts when he gets sent off against Hearts. I think, to be honest, if you're giving that as a red card, you're giving them every single week. That happens up and down the country, in every box, at every set piece. So if you're giving a red card for that, then you're going to be seeing red cards all over the place. Some of the decisions yesterday, I didn't see it, I only seen it in the highlights, but like the Scales penalty, I think the reason given was that there was a foul outside the box. There was a foul elsewhere in the park. There was 10 Hibs players in the box. So where's the foul?
Sure.
That's the crazy thing. So for me, as I say, some of the horrendous decisions this weekend. As I say, Mikey Moore at Livingston. I can't believe that's not been given as a foul. And the Callum Slattery one and for Motherwell and St Mirren kind of thing. I just think it's not so much the VAR, the technology. Technology is fine. It's getting the right people to work it. Yeah. And I think it applies to down south as well, where yesterday in the derby, that the referee almost looked at his officials as if to go, I don't want to make a bad decision here. So they're almost they're using it as a comfort blanket, and they don't want to take a risk in making the wrong decision without the technology. But for me, as I say, we've just got to go back to sometimes if the technology is not there, just back yourself. If he's obviously said to Martin O'Neill yesterday that he was just going to have a word with players, then just do that. I don't get why he's got to take the word of VAR.
No, that's a brilliant point, but also the fact is, why do they have VAR, Paul? We've always said it's been football. It's like a football player makes a wrong decision on the pitch, makes a wrong pass, gives the ball away, whatever, penalty kick, whatever. Yeah. So the referee is going to make mistakes. We all know that. The one thing I would do is, let's go to all the supporters that spend all the money, home and away, going to watch football matches. Do they want VAR? And see if they turn around and say, no, we don't want VAR, then that should be scrapped.
Where does that leave us, though, for European football?
But I'm talking about all over.
Because the world,
I'm telling you, sure. I guarantee you, most of the supporters would come back and say, scrap VAR.
So why are they pushing it so hard, Barry? Have you got a view? I mean, why is it in world football they want VAR?
Finance.
You always think, exactly, there's always dollars at the bottom of it, or whatever, euros or pounds, isn't it? It comes back to money so often in the world.
That's it, Paul, because the bottom line is they're thinking people are going to get relegated or not win a league or lose the Champions League final. But that's life. It's always happened.
We're talking about the top of the league, right? We're talking 4 teams, because I'm going to include Motherwell in this. But look at the bottom. Yep. It could cause somebody been in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, it probably will. What about, I see the interim chairman, Brian Wilson, spoke to some Celtic fans outside the game. Brian is trying to get some kind of rapprochement, some kind of agreement with the fans. Gary, have you got any update from yesterday? Did you get a feeling there was a better atmosphere in the stadium than there was at the Stuttgart game? I mean, I know it was good pre-Stuttgart, but during the match it changed. Any insight you can give us tonight?
I mean, it was a decent attendance yesterday, considering I thought there would be significantly less fans there than there was against Stuttgart, to be fair. But no, I feel like it's just, we need to, I'm fed up of hearing this, we're going to have talks and we're going to try and get everybody around the table. Just get them back in. Forget talks, just get them back in. Whatever kind of singing groups or whatever you want to call them, ultras, just get them back in the stadium and get them back in the team again, because we can put this on a back burner, this whole sack the board, carry on in the protests and Thursday night. We can put that on the back burner to the end of the season, but we've got a massive 11 games, 11 cup finals that we need to go and win. If we don't beat Rangers and Aberdeen 3 times over the next week, forget the season's done.
Yeah.
Forget that. And so for me, I think you need to get the groups back in. I think you need to get Celtic Park full again, and hopefully that will change the way the players are playing, because the players are looking at it every week, go, I wonder what's going to happen this week, I wonder what kind of protest. And I know there wasn't anything much in the way of protest yesterday, but for me, I just think, forget about trying to get talks around a table, just get them back in for me, because it's, as I say, it's like Groundhog Day. We're just fed up of, I mean, you'll be sick of the sound of my voice, but
No, but the tennis ball thing the other night was mindless. I mean, Martin O'Neill was absolutely right. And I know he praised the fans yesterday as well. I mean, if Celtic win, and it's a big if, but if they win their game in hand, they'd be on 57 points. You know, they'd be a point ahead of Rangers. And I heard you saying it at the beginning, Barry. It's all to play for all of them. Hearts in the best position, but they've never been over the course. Rangers second best. But again, they've only won one title in, 14 years? And Celtic, who've won 13 out of 14. But you would think the club was in absolute turmoil. It is in some ways, but is there a switch that can be flicked, Peter?
But I'm not so sure, Paul.
No. Okay.
It's because we kept waiting on that switch to get flicked, and it's just not happened. I think the players are capable of putting performances in. We've not seen that yet. We keep waiting on it. And that is a worry. And it's very interesting. The next 3 games could be so decisive, because if you lose in the league against Rangers and you lose in the league against Aberdeen and you lose in the cup, you're talking about Celtic being out of everything.
Devil's advocate though, you're not at home, which was a fortress. It isn't anymore at the moment. It's hassle. There's no Green Brigade there. Away from home, look at them at Kilmarnock last week. You know, and the atmosphere there. Barry, from a Rangers point of view,
Rangers
as well,
are very strong at home.
Yes,
very strong. And the fans that I mentioned about the atmosphere against Hearts, it's the best I've heard. There was so much energy round about the place, and it's going to be like that in Sunday. I've no doubt about that.
It's almost, Gary, like the fans don't want it as much. Of course they want to win, but if they're throwing tennis balls on, what signal is that? Stuttgart come to town. 30,000 Stuttgart fans wanted tickets to come to Glasgow because they knew about what it's like in European nights. They must have thought, what? Is this the place?
Oh,
it's self-harm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gary, do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I was arguing with my mates David and Kieran about it on Thursday night, and I felt like I was the only one that was kind of like on the side of being like, do you know, this is absolutely pointless. I get that there's protests and the fans want to get their message across, but for me, as I said last week, you know, you paid £45 to go in and make the protest. Why not stand outside the ground? Why not all be outside the ground rather than give your money to the board that you're clearly wanting sacked? To be honest, I think it's absolutely. I think Martin O'Neill's getting fed up right now. I think he's just wanting the end of the season to come so he can disappear again back.
Do you think? Yeah.
Hey, can I ask a question? Who sacks the board?
Who do you bring in?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Sack the board. That cannot happen. What you can do is have change in the board, and they've been too slow to say, look, mistakes made. Celtic board can sit and say, do you know, unprecedented success. Absolutely, you have had. If they were here, I'd be saying absolutely. 13 out of 14, grit on you go. 70 million in the bank. Well, it's 67 now. It's gone down a little bit or whatever. Get it. But this season's been a shambles. A bit of humility to say, right, got that wrong, and put Brian Wilson in now as interim chairman, and Brian's trying to kind of. We've heard nothing from Dermot Desmond since the night that Brendan Rodgers left, and then he came out with that statement, which absolutely torpedoed. It was a real statement from the biggest shareholder, not the majority. So it's down to him, Barry. What does he want to do with the club?
It's going to be a big 3 month from now until the end of the season. Obviously, Martin O'Neill's in interim charge. What they're going to do about the manager? Is there going to be changes in the board? So it's a crucial time for Celtic.
And you came through a crucial time at Rangers. This time last year, you were called up to be manager of the club, something you'll never forget. But there was turmoil, right? There was the 49ers coming over the mountain. They were about to come in, but they hadn't quite come in.
Yep.
But can you imagine, what were the things that you saw? Did you believe you could get in the position that you're in just now at the club? Because they got it wrong in the summer. We know that.
Yep. No, I didn't, if I'm being brutally honest. But that's where you've got to give Andrew Kavanagh credit and the board. They made a change, and the change has certainly worked. And the Rangers are in a good place at this moment in time in terms of the board. It's more settled. The team is doing a lot better on the pitch. But what you need to bring with that is success, and that's winning trophies, and that's the pressure that I'm afraid that everybody's under at Rangers. But it's a more settled, not just from a playing side, off the pitch is more settled as well.
There's a kind of unity there, Peter. Nobody knows more about Celtic than you, or cares more than you. Wonder what you're thinking about it all at Celtic, because you're so close. You can still win the title.
Yeah, history tells you, Paul.
Yeah.
Celtic are absolutely nothing without their supporters.
Yep.
Nothing. Never will be, and never have been, because the times there's been questions. We went to Hampden for a year.
Yes.
The supporters didn't want to come. They didn't want to give the SFA the money and all that sort of stuff for renting it. All that stuff. Really poor season. The COVID season, 25 points Rangers win the league with.
Collapsed.
So if you just want to talk about two incidents, there's two to tell you. Celtic's most important people are always the supporters, and you need every one of them. And if you're wanting to look, and people say, we don't look across the road, but if you're wanting to look across the road, look what they were like at the start of the season when they didn't have the support, the players didn't have the support, and they weren't winning games of football, the negativity that was around about it. Now you're saying you're getting into a place now where you're trying to win a league, and you've still got a slight chance, as everybody else has. There are 4 teams, as Barry's 100% right, 4 teams in it. And you're saying, well, I need a push over the line. What you don't is choke yourself. You want the other teams to beat you, not to beat yourself. And at this moment in time, I think that's what's happening.
This is when supporters are crucial. They're so important. They're so important. And if you have a connection from the stands onto the pitch, I've always said it and I'll always maintain it, you're halfway there to being successful.
Gary, final word to you, because I heard you there saying about your pals. A couple of your pals are not happy. They want to protest. And of course, we're in a democracy. I think we are still just here. But it's got free will. But if you're a Celtic supporter, you've paid your money, support the team in the next 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, we're in a battle with 3 other teams. To be honest, because Motherwell will have a massive say in who wins the title, because they could take points off all 3 of us, to be perfectly honest. But I think, just to echo what Peter was saying, it's all about the fans, and the fans, they're the lifeblood of the club. They'll be there longer than anybody. And just to talk about the late great Tommy Burns, he said in the cup final, the famous cup final, that's what's so special about them. They're there and they're always there. And that's the thing. It's like we just need to get back to being together as a club again, because, as I say, 11 games, I think Celtic and Rangers probably won't win 11 games to take it all the way to the last game of the season. I think, as Barry's saying, Rangers, I think, are probably playing better football than Celtic, but I think in terms of just getting over the line, Celtic have obviously had a lot of late winners, mostly in recent weeks. That obviously ran out yesterday. You can't do that every week, but we need to get back to winning games comfortably again, and that has to start with Aberdeen. Forget Stuttgart. Stuttgart's gone. For me, I don't even know if I'll watch it on Thursday, but for me, it's all about. It's all about.
You can tune into the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King, because the early kick-off. Remember, final question, because Martin is on. It's a Celtic fan, saying he wants Bertolascu as your manager next season. What would you say?
Well, funnily enough, you say that. My mate David is a big Motherwell fan, so there's always been a bit of banter this season. Motherwell are probably the best footballing team in the league, to be perfectly honest. I think we can all agree on that. And I think he's done fantastically well for me, I don't know if it's just a case of too soon. Maybe, I'm not too sure. I think we maybe need to be looking elsewhere. I think if he was able to stay at Motherwell, keep the core of his team and see if he can go again next season, then possibly I think you'd be talking about a future Celtic manager. But for me, I think it might be too soon.
Really?
To be fair.
Gary, the lure of going to Celtic, well, we don't know him personally, but could be a good move for Celtic to move in for him for next season.
I hope not.
Because you would, yeah, because he knows the Scotland,
No, listen,
knows the Scottish
I've
game.
been,
Yeah.
look, I didn't know anything about him, but I've been so impressed by him. I'm so impressed by his team, but actually when you listen to him after the game, when he comes out and he speaks total sense. It looks to me when I listen to managers and I listen to the Motherwell manager, and I always think to myself, I would like to play for him.
Mm-hmm. Would you? Yeah.
That's the
I like
vibe he
that.
gives me.
Yeah.
And you can see the difference he's made in some of the players, Paul. And he's got some really good players. I think Motherwell will struggle to hold on to half of that team in the summer.
And the manager and the team.
And the manager
yeah,
as well.
Peter,
Yep.
what about Bert? I'll ask you.
He's done a fantastic job. I think people don't give him the credit that he'd done away before he came to Motherwell.
Okay.
He's worked
Yeah.
at the coalface with other teams,
Yep.
you know, and won things, whether he's been an assistant, he's been in amongst it. So you learn, he's brought in players he knows, which will make Motherwell better, and they've definitely done that. So he knew players there, so he knows. But bringing players in to suit Motherwell at the level you're playing at, to playing for Rangers or Celtic is completely different. And the thing is, you don't get the first 10 games to try and build up.
Yeah.
You know, you're about the door. Ask Wilfred Nancy.
You only get the first 10 minutes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Exactly,
So there's
yeah.
a different pressure, but I have no doubt he'll have many suitors just for the way his team played. There's no doubt in my mind of that. And I hope he does, because he's been brave to do it. And that's the biggest thing. And he's not out this race yet. Please believe me. There's still a lot of running for Motherwell to do.
Come on, Noel. Barry is a Hamilton boy. You're not having it. Listen, Gary, great shout. Thanks so much
Cheers,
for your
Gary.
call. 0808, thank
Cheers.
you. 0808 17 17 700. Back in a moment.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Yep, indeed. Our brand new competition is here as well with Scottish Gas. Pick your pundit. With Scottish Gas, we're going to give you the chance to win £250 or £500. On the line trying to win this evening is Julie. Hi, Julie. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you all?
Good evening, Julie.
Hi, they're good.
Hi, Julie.
Peter Grant and Barry Ferguson. Pretty good form. Everyone's been talking about VAR tonight, Julie. We might ask about it shortly. Have you got a team that you follow?
Rangers.
All right, Julie, okay.
Julie knows her
you should have
stuff.
said follow there, Paul. You know what I mean?
She knows her stuff, Julie.
Yeah, I was going to say either follow or where do you hail from?
Exactly.
Keep them all happy.
Enough of that.
Right.
Enough of that.
Do you know how it works? I have a question here for Barry or Peter with a various number of answers available, and they'll list how many they can answer. Now, Julie, I've told them just during the break there. So the pundit that says they can answer the highest number is worth 500, but there's more jeopardy. The lower number is worth £250. So here's what the question is tonight, and it's not an easy one. So Hibs beat Celtic at Parkhead for the first time in 16 years yesterday, as you know. How many of the lineup and the players on the subs bench can you name from that day for either Hibs or Celtic? So this was 11 years ago. It's a tough one. James is not here tonight, but he's left us a really difficult one. So do you get it? That's what the question is. So we can ask Barry how many he thinks he's getting. That's it. Yep, 11 years ago. Well done. 2 points right away to Peter for working it out.
16 years ago. Never mind 11 years ago.
Wow.
2000.
16 years ago.
16,
It is. You're right. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So
I've been
it's,
away from 1997.
Okay, how many do you think you can name? And the trouble is, if you put one in that's not playing, then she would get nothing. Julie would get nothing.
Right.
So
Well, we certainly want to get something.
want to get something for you. This is a tough one tonight. That's what I would say.
This is
So,
not
yeah.
a great one for me.
Because Hibs Celtic. Yeah. So where were you both at that time?
Oh, I was well away.
Yeah.
But I'd been away for about, what was that?
You at Norwich and all that. Yeah, sure.
I was away for 13
West
years, but
Ham,
then 14
sure,
years, but
Fulham.
then
So how many do you think you're going to get right then, Peter?
2010.
Yeah. Go for it. How many?
I'd say a maximum 6.
6.
I would say maximum, probably.
Okay. Barry, what do you feel?
I can guarantee 5.
5. Okay.
But I can guarantee it.
You sure? Because if you get one of them wrong, Julie will get nothing. And Julie,
Well, I'm determined to get Julie something.
Sure, this is a hard one.
She's a Rangers fan, so
Well, I'm going to help her out. I can't guarantee it this, Julie. I'm just saying 6, but I'm not 100% sure.
Something's better than
Okay,
nothing.
okay,
That's
right.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Julie, it's your choice. If you go with Peter, then your chance of winning £500, and if you go with Barry, it's £250 because Barry is sure he'll get 5. Peter's
No.
not so sure.
Okay.
Julie, it's your choice.
Right, I'm going to go with Barry because, as I say, I'm sticking with the Rangers, and also he sounds as if he's confident. So sorry, Peter.
You're looking for Cilla Black there. Surprise, surprise.
Julie's too young. Julie, do you remember that? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
You do?
I'm older than you think.
Oh, not at
I
all.
used to love that.
Did you?
Oh,
Yeah,
I used to
surprise,
love that
surprise.
programme.
I met her at a party. She was in great
Aye,
form.
all right, no, there he goes, another.
Ding, clang. Oh, she was absolutely brilliant. Anyone that
I don't
had
want
a
to
heart.
know what
Was that a
happened
blind
at the
date you were
party.
on? Was that a blind date you were on?
Oh, very good. Right,
Right.
one. So,
going to go. I've
£250. Barry Ferguson, if you can name 5 of the Celtic players who played in that game or were on the bench. Yeah.
a man that sits beside us sometimes on the show, Darren D.
Well, you say Darren and D, but you're right. Correct. He's there. So that's one of the 5. Okay.
Samaras.
Georgios Samaras, indeed, he was there. He played. So that's 2. 3 more. If you get them right, £250 from Scottish Gas going to Julie.
McGeady.
Okay. Do you think? Aidan
He's
McGeady?
better.
What do you reckon?
No, I thought he was a baby then.
No, don't start that nonsense.
Aidan McGeady, who'll be joining us in this very studio very soon.
All right.
Aidan McGeady did play.
Oh,
yeah.
good shout.
So there you are.
Hinkle.
Julie, how are you feeling? Oh, Hinkle is straight in there.
German.
Listen, I would say I've got no. My nails are nearly away, but they were away yesterday. So
Were they, of course, till that the late show from Rangers? Yeah. Andreas Hinkle.
Yeah, German fullback.
Correct. I was saying to Julie, it sounds like. Okay, no, I won't forget that one. That's okay.
Right, so
1,
that's
2, 3,
4.
4. Just one more. But if you get it wrong, Barry, she loses the 250.
I know, you've told me that twice now.
Right. I'm just trying to build it up.
Julie,
I'm just trying to build it up a little bit. I'm
I'm
rooting for you.
confident.
Rangers are on a run and they'll probably get it right. You know this is going to happen.
Let's
I'm
hear,
confident in this last one.
let's hear Julie there saying, come on. Let's hear that again.
Come on, Barry, go for it.
Boric, goalkeeper.
Well,
what?
you reckon it was Artur Boric,
Yeah.
the big goalie? Correct.
There
She's
we
won
go.
£250.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done,
Well
Julie.
done, Julie.
Other names in there. I'm just trying to see. Paddy McCourt, Mark Crosas. Remember, he was here
Yeah,
from
dude.
Barcelona.
Spanish.
See?
There's another one that I had written down,
Who?
but I had a question mark against it.
Who?
Niall McGinn.
Absolutely, you're right. Yes, he did indeed. He had a very good career up at Aberdeen. Peter, because you obviously, you know your history, you know the Celtic, but you were at West Ham, Norwich,
I was away for
Fulham and all the rest
13
of
years
it.
about
Sure.
then, Paul. You
Yeah.
know, I
Okay.
know all these players playing because some of them played under Tony, obviously.
Of course. And you were the assistant manager, yeah.
But we're only there 9 months. So
Did you have any, give us, did you have another name? Just, but anyway, the main thing
I
is
did
just
add
getting
one.
Which one?
Fortuny.
Oh, yeah.
Marco
Mark.
Fortuny.
He was in the squad. Well
He
done.
went to was it West Brom?
West Brom. You brought him up for West Brom, yeah.
Julie, well done. You're going to get £250.
Thank you very much.
Well
That's
done,
good.
Julie.
Thank you.
Well done, Julie.
I'm going to get killed here, Julie, because we're so on your side to try and win it. That I know, I'm delighted. We want to be. That's what goes all about.
Of course.
So,
Paul's raging because it's out of his pocket.
aye, well, listen, Julie, absolutely delighted.
And Julie, believe me when I say this, his pockets are ankle deep.
He knows that's not true. Listen, see, at the
That's
day,
not hard, but look at when his ankles are near his elbows anyway.
All right, okay. Thank you so much. Aidan McGeady's going to be brilliant on this show, isn't he? You'll love working with him, Barry. Yeah, you will. And that's not true in the days out, is it? You and me are up at the bar. giving out
listen, I'm
the
only
bosh.
kidding.
Oh, I know
He's
you.
right.
No.
It's only a joke.
This is not a Martin Keown thing with Julie. What about Rangers? What you feeling? First of all, yesterday were you watching?
Oh, I was
Yeah.
watching, and it's hard going. But to be fair, I'm not about to take anything away from Livingston because the game I was watching at the start, I just couldn't see Rangers scoring, and then obviously Livingston scored. But no, I'm glad that they kind of got themselves back together and pulled back the 2 goals. But they're making it really difficult. And as I say, I've no fingernails left. Just sitting there watching it yesterday.
I think Danny Rowe was the same. This is what he said about the match.
Yeah, finally, I think we're disappointed. We dropped 2 points, unnecessary. I think it was exactly what we knew before the game. They will have 2 or 3 moments. They look for set plays, and in these 2 or 3 moments, yeah, we missed the clarity. I think from the first minute on we were good in the game. Yeah, we had a big chance after our set play for the 1-0. But if you're then 2-0 down, it's tough. It's a tough place. But finally, we tried everything. I think it shows a big character from the group. Big praise, really praise from the supporters today. Outstanding. I think over 100 minutes they support us, and every minute it was great. Yeah, finally you scored then the 2-2, and then we can speak maybe about one crucial moment in the game. But I will look not for this excuse. We have 100 minutes to decide this earlier.
Barry, a fair description from the manager?
Yeah, as I said, I was at the game. I thought the support were amazing. And I agree. Listen, you're going into that game. I just thought we started a bit slow. It took us a bit of time to get going, which was a surprise, because when I was going to the game I was pretty confident. Look, but when you're 2-0 down, they showed a bit of character, and that's always been labelled against the group of players. So that's a positive that I take out the game.
Julie, how would you feel if Hearts win the league?
I think it would be good for them. I mean, it's nice to see other teams win. I know I want Rangers to win. Definitely want Rangers to win. I'm not going to say I want Celtic to win, but I want Rangers
all right, Julie.
I just think, listen, Hearts have done really well, and they deserve to be where they are. And again, it's consistency, and it's churning out the games, and this is it. But I'm glad there's a wee bit more of a fighting spirit in the Rangers team, because a good few months ago I just thought this is gone. There's got no chance, but they've brought it back. So, but no, yeah, if Hearts win, then I think it's well deserved, because they've done really well. So just have to wait and see. But I don't think this is the end. I think there's more twists and turns, as you say, to come.
Danny Rule, it's incredible. He's only 36, Julie, isn't it? He seems really mature, balanced for somebody who could still be playing.
Yeah, he's definitely got them playing better. I don't know what he's doing in the dressing room, but he's definitely got that team spirit. And yeah, I think I was a bit sceptical when they sort of signed him, and I thought, don't know much about him, but no, he's turned it around a bit, so I'm happy with that. So yeah, I'll take it.
And how many sleeps to go to the match, Barry? Is that 6 sleeps before the game? What are you thinking, Julie? Are you going to be at the match on Sunday?
No, I won't. I will be watching it, but I don't know. It's one of these things I can never predict it. I like to think that Rangers will do well, but I don't know. Their performance does. I would say they're more. How would I say? They're more stable than Celtic. Celtic do. I don't know. I don't know, but Rangers can be erratic as well. So you just have to wait and see. I just think whoever's going to want it more, has just got to get out there and go for it, because every game now is a title decided, and they've just got to get out with that mentality. So,
Peter, that's a good point, isn't it? The one that wants it more.
Yeah, and I think Julie's right, because you can't predict this. You don't know. I keep saying that to you. Ask me the result. What's the result at the weekend? I'll say, listen, don't know, because you can be the on-form team and get turned over, and I've seen it so many times. I've played in so many like that, when you've been as underdogs or the favourites, and the opposite's happened. And I'm hoping that's the case, because I think Rangers will get into this one as favourites. They're playing maybe not playing at their best, but I think they're showing better form than Celtic. They're much more physical, I believe. So set plays could be a big thing. All these things, and I think Rangers are ahead on that physicality.
And Martin O'Neill likes a physical team.
Yeah, but it's very difficult for Martin to do that. It was very difficult to do that. And if Trusty doesn't play again, there's another one. It goes down. So you're either giving the young boys up. Well, one of the 2 young boys have either got to start if Trusty doesn't play anyway. So all these things. But listen, as I said before, you can never ever say what's going to happen in these games.
Barry, Rangers day off today, is it, or whatever? It's a different week, Celtic, and you always say, I'd rather be playing, but Celtic will be off to Germany on Wednesday.
I'm sure they would have a rest day, but they've got a full week to prepare for the big one. As I said, Rangers' home form's been pretty strong. As I said to you, the atmosphere is getting back to the way it should be, and it's certainly going to be electric in Sunday. That's for sure.
Julie,
can I ask you a question? What are you going to spend the money on?
Taking us out.
Well, I'm going on holiday next week.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
maybe get some
Wait.
euros.
where are you off to?
I'm going to Lanzarote. I need some sun. I'm fed up with this weather.
Oh, Puerto del Carmen and all that. Lovely.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Well, that'll help, won't it? 250 quid, that'll be
Yeah.
good.
Absolutely.
Well,
Just phone us when you're on the beach next week,
Yeah.
then. Let us know how warm it is.
I can exclusively reveal she'll not be phoning Peter Grant from a beach in Lanzarote. All right. Julie, listen, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure to speak to you. And the £250
Well done, Julie.
on its way soon.
Brilliant. Thank you
Well
very
done,
much.
Julie.
done.
Well
Cheers,
done.
Julie.
Enjoy it.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Julie. 0808 17 17 700.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Yep, we are indeed. And that was Julie on earlier, who was brilliant. She was really measured. Do you not think our listeners and callers are great people who love their football, they love their team, but I find them respectful to the opposition?
They speak intelligently
Yeah.
about the game and they respect you when you're on. What team, doesn't matter what team you support. You know,
Yep.
they give you an opinion and they accept your opinion. Maybe not agree with it, but they accept it.
Barry, she did well there with the 250.
Yeah, I'm just
pounds. Yeah.
looking. You just gave me the answers there.
Some of the
And
names, yeah. Give us a name that surprises you.
Zheng Zi,
Yeah, of course, forgotten all about him. But some people thought Scott Brown here in the production team.
Lucas Zaluska,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Zaluska. And there we are.
Paul McGowan,
Oh, yeah, indeed.
Paul Caddis,
Yep.
Josh Thompson.
A big centre half.
Okay.
He's a physiotherapist now.
Is he? That's good. If we did an extra hour, we'd continue this, but otherwise we'll move on, try and keep the ratings high.
Just try,
That's
I'm
what
just trying to
I
give
did
you
ask.
some names. Come
Listen,
on.
Maswinisi, 19 goals so far. Nigrin on 18. And Lauren Shankland, who hasn't played for, 6 weeks, still third top on 15 goals. Braga on 14. Tavernier on 13, back in yesterday. Mandron of St Mirren on 11. Miofsky of Rangers on 10. Bowie, of course, now departed from Hibs, along with Boyle on 9. Maeda on 8. And I'm just giving you these because it's kind of tells you something about the story of the
Miofsky,
season, doesn't it?
10
That's what I was
goals.
going-
Yes.
I was going to say that
yeah,
surprises
absolutely.
me that as well.
Let me just check. Yes, 10 goals, Miofsky. How was he
In
yesterday,
all
Barry?
competitions.
Yes, all competitions. I always like that one. All competitions, yeah. How was
Yep,
he?
he came on. He made the change. He came on at half time. He did okay, no doubt about it. He worked hard enough, Paul. That's what you're kind of looking for.
Championship, well, it kicked off again. Well, not again, it's not been away, but Friday night seems a while ago. So did you watch it, Barry? St Johnson on Friday
Yeah,
night?
watched
Going
it.
Back?
Yeah, nothing each.
Yep. That's an hour and a half you don't get back, isn't it?
Yeah, normally in the championship games you get a few goals.
You do,
It was,
yeah.
it wasn't
Remember
it?
Holt's chance, the wee captain's chance,
Aye.
right at the death.
Oh,
the
right
header,
at the end,
right
I
at
know.
the last
He's got,
moment.
he's got to score there.
Yeah,
hasn't
he
he?
has. He has. He played really well. I think he's done really well for them, and the team suits him.
But good news for the Jags then. They picked up just 1-0, wasn't it? 47 points. So St Johnson on 50, Arbroath on 40, A United, another draw. It's killing them, isn't it? It's not killing them, but they're still in the position, 33. And then Wraith and Morton on 30, Dunfermline on 29, Queen's Park on 27, Airdrie on 23, Ross County 23 as well.
Surely Ross County can't go down.
Well, from the Premier League.
Surely.
No, you
Championship
look at the
first,
squad they've
yeah.
got. You
I
know, you
know,
think to
I
yourself,
know.
it's really surprising. But Arbroath, they've done phenomenal again. You know, the
have.
two
Yeah.
guys who've
Unbelievable.
taken the job there, they've done phenomenal.
Barry, what can we say about the Ackies? I see they've been taken to court this time by Addleshaw.
Well, I'm worried
Goddard
about-
legal firm.
What do you do
37
about the
grand.
local team, Paul?
Yeah.
It's just every single week there's something in the papers about them.
Yep.
I just hope they get through it.
I saw the bus leaving from what's the one again in Bothwell Road, you know, from the pub there, I forget the name of it, but the bus going, it's dead sad, isn't it? I know it was an away game at Alloa, but it's a shame that they're not playing
Whereabouts?
at home.
The Bay Horse?
The Bay Horse, that's exactly it, yeah. You ever go in there?
Yeah,
No.
I've been in there a few times.
Yeah, sure.
They've still got a few good players as well, Paul.
Have they?
No, yeah. I look at their squad and they've got a few good players in there.
To be fair to Dan McInnes done a good job
Yeah, but they've got.
under difficult
I
circumstances.
think they've got good players and they should be getting better results than they do. I believe because I think they've got good players.
Peter, what about Sarachi? The word today is that he could be wanted elsewhere. So Celtic, of course, got him on loan.
I really like him,
Yeah.
Paul. I think he brings drive. You know, something I really like Kieran, but I think Tonecti gets the ball much quicker off Sriracha, so he can face up the opposition quicker. I think he's got a really good understanding, and he runs on the outside a lot to drag people back. But the one thing about him, see if the ball comes back to him, he does deliver. He doesn't take a touch and pass it back to Callum. He will deliver in the box. I've been really impressed with him. But do you go for another fullback again? It depends what the situation Kieran feels in himself, because the more minutes Kieran Tierney obviously gets, you're hoping he's going to get stronger and stronger. But at this moment in time, it just seems after a period in the games that he needs to come off, and that's not ideal. Changing any back four at any time, I believe, because I always think the back four should stay the same unless you've got an injury.
And Barry, in a World Cup year, you always want to hear Kieran Tierney doing well, because he's such an important part of the Scotland squad.
Yeah, he's going to be certainly what you just mentioned there. He's going to be a big player for Scotland in the summer. As I said, I don't know if he can play 3 games in a week. But look, there's no doubt he's got quality. He's always had quality, Paul. He's just the only issue with Kieran Tierney has been he's suffered some bad injuries.
He's played a lot of minutes this year, though, hasn't he, for Celtic?
Yeah. I think they're managing him in the right way. I think you've got to do that with Kieran Tierney.
Big Andy's asking, what did you make of Bijrami when he came on, and Barry? You only see him now and again.
Yeah, he played on the right-hand side. He done well. But again, with Nadim, there's no doubt in his quality. Technically, he's so gifted. It's just getting it out of him on a regular basis. That's the issue since he's been at Rangers. But he came on and he made a difference. He made an impact. And when you bring people off the bench, you need them to make an impact. And certainly, Bijrami made an impact on Sunday against Livy.
Emmanuel Fernandez had a big impact in that goal. Took it so well. Spoke about it afterwards.
Look, we were 2-0 down. We showed good fight to come back. I know we'll be disappointed about this, but look, there's 10 games to go and we just got to keep fighting.
Barry, I know sometimes he's open to criticism at the back, but my goodness, he can strike a ball, can head a ball.
Yeah, he's a unit.
Yep.
That's for sure. And he's get better. There's no doubt he was when he first broke in. You could see he hadn't gained that experience of playing on a regular basis. But look, when he's fit and he's available, he's Danny Rowe certainly picks him. And one thing about him is, see no opposition box, he is a major threat. Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
And could well be on Sunday, Peter. It's maybe too early.
I think that's an area where you could really kill Celtic.
That's what's a concern for me, Paul, you know, because he's fantastic in there. I mean, as good as anyone. He jumps his height. Yeah. He's one of the ones, but he's aggressive with it. As I say that, I always thought they needed an extra centre back in, because I thought he'd taken too many chances if you're talking about the highest level, you know, to play. But he's got all the qualities to play right at the very top.
And look at the height they've got, Peter. I'm just thinking about.
Well, I look at Rangers team now.
Chermiti.
Rangers, if you looked at Stuttgart the other night there, Rangers were like Stuttgart. Now you can see them all getting bigger and physical. Oh, there's always places for smaller players in football. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind of that in the right areas. Look at the best team ever was Barcelona in my lifetime.
Messi,
and look at all that midfield and whatever. So I'm not talking about height there, but in areas of the pitch. Yep. And I've seen that when you were looking at Danny Rowe's teams, you felt the back four were getting bigger and bigger. They were going to have bigger strikers. So they were having that physicality that you can use defensively and attacking wise. You can see them going more direct with 2 strikers up the pitch, because they can do that with a physicality round about them. And I just think that's...
You look at the spine, Granty.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Jack's a big boy. Fernandez, big boy. Chukwani, big. Nadiri, Chermiti, big.
Yep.
Roman's at left back, good size.
Physical, strong, jumps his height.
So that's certainly something that they've added, a presence. And I'm a big believer in, you need a physical presence in this league here.
All right, the Celtic team, physical presence, who I'm looking, obviously, Trusty's not going to be there. Scales.
But that's it then after that. You're talking about
Javancher up front.
But you're saying that's a striker, and I never trust him to defend anyway. I don't care if they're 6'4". I never trust my strikers to defend as well.
But do they carry a threat? So I'm thinking about Celtic up in the Rangers area, if they're getting.
Well, I think if you look around about that's some things that annoys me as well. Celtic bring everybody back. I think if I was going to play against Rangers at the weekend, I'd be leaving 3 up.
Yeah, 3 up, would you?
Yeah, because I'd need to take some of the Rangers players back because physically they're bigger. That's the sort of thing I'd be doing.
He's going for it. Huh? He's going for it.
A corner, 100% I would, because they're too big. They will out jump you. So why not put guys up you can't bring back? It's not going to mark him. So you've got 2 wingers who can't jump anyway. Yeah.
So will they do that then? Because Martin and Neil Wiley.
I don't think they will. But I'm saying.
So why wouldn't you?
Because Paul, Eddie Howe, when I was keep saying to you, Eddie was a player under us at Bournemouth. Eddie was the biggest player in the team.
Was he?
He was the biggest. So look at the size of Eddie. So he was 5'11". So we used to leave 3 up. Jermaine Defoe was one of them.
Right.
But we left 3 up because all other teams were bigger. And everybody used to leave 4 back. Set plays becomes a number game. That's what it becomes. So if you've got guys at 5'7", who are they going to mark? So if you look through the Celtic team at this moment in time, you're saying Callum McGregor not the biggest.
No.
You know, Haroho's not the biggest, but he jumps well. You know, but I'm saying even like Trusty's not aggressive enough at certain times.
Yeah.
Liam Scales for me, if he doesn't head the ball, I'm always worried that nobody else is going to head it.
And they're missing CCV. I know he's not. He's 5'11", but he's
but you know what I'm
kind of
saying.
defending.
But even when he plays, I think if Liam Scales is not playing, Celtic don't have someone that goes, I'm heading that ball, but I'm clearing it. Everything seems to still be alive in Celtic's box at set plays, and that's my biggest concern.
Do you know we've only got 90 seconds left? It's flown in. Bin VAR, that's what you're saying, Peter.
100%.
Barry, would you say bin VAR?
I want to be against it.
Right. Ali said it this morning as well. But what a weekend for Hearts, isn't it, when you think about it? I know
They've
we're
had a great week,
yeah,
a great weekend,
yeah,
should I say. Good victory against Falkirk, and two of their closest rivals at this moment in time dropping points. And
come on the well. They might just, they'll play a big part, Peter.
It's been brilliant. The best result of the weekend was that. Hearts will say theirs because obviously they win 1-0 and the other ones drop points. But Motherwell going to St Mirren at any time, I don't care, you can make excuses or whatever. Fantastic performance, fantastic result. And that's what they've been playing like all season.
I tell you, I've never seen St Mirren being in this position.
Right. Actually, we've run out of time on that one. But Barry, it is a worry, isn't it? 5-0 at any time.
And you could see Stevie Robinson after the game, he was like, you could see he was really down.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. Because that was a thump.
Well, Mark Goody will be here tomorrow night along with Darren Adee, who I'll check with him if he remembers that game.
Team,
exactly. We'll check. Well done, Julie.
Yeah.
Well done to everyone. Ross joined us early on, a referee, and he referees at all sorts of levels. I thought he was really fair about it all. Thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow night at 5 with Mark and with Darren. Barry, we'll see you later in the week. Peter as well.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you.